What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the fourth album by American rock band New Found Glory. Basically, this product is called Catalyst, and it came out in the spring of 2004. So the fair about this product here is particularly New Found Glory had some hit songs off their 2002 album Sticks and Stones as far as those pairs go. Now that's the initial product I reviewed by them. I reviewed that back in the summer of 2024, pitches like that. I definitely need to get around to them within these pitches, but it's kind of within the format, so I'm going to get towards some more of these type ones within the pitch. Now particularly very likely by the time you see this review, Catalyst by New Found Glory is probably going to be like mid-late summer 2026 pitches like that within those ordeals, September, maybe even October 2026, some of those type of ordeals. But I look after here, just being able to say within the aspect behind it, I say within the pitch as far as these pairs going to happen. This is a class here within these aspects, has one of their largest hits in the song. All downhill from here with them pitches like that. Pretty good MTV, VH1 staples, those type formats. Definitely some further pop punk pitches like that. Just a good third helping if the aspects behind folks like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, and their prime, some of those type folks in particular have more formats. Now, in my opinion, this is a classic kind of pop punk album within these pitches, but the format kind of about it is collectively with like the commercial appeal of this album, it did not really get too much further than All Downhill from here within those pitches. I think that's at least like a pretty good mid 2000s kind of staple pitch like that, but it's just kind of ordeal as far as saying it just didn't, it was. It didn't really have the leg room to be able to capitalize on much further success within those pitches. And really, New Found Glory, like within certain senses, folks try to label them one-hit wonders pitches like that, but they did get to the fourth single off this album. It's just the fair that apart from maybe possibly, I think it was Europe, one of these type places, there was like one particular spot that some of these singles charted all else. Yeah, 3 out of 4 of these singles off this album at least charted a little bit better in Europe pitches like that, which is surprising considering that Europe would have been into pop punk pitches like that. Europe would have been into pop punk pitches like that more so than America was, but it's this kind of pitch. I realize in certain senses it's not so much it feels like generic pop punk, and that's definitely a good thing within those pitches if it does feel that way, because the pitch behind it, that was a pretty popular subgenre within those aspects, but there. I think it more or less just has to do with the factoid that there just was a lot of, rhythmic. There just were a lot of competing rock albums around this time that there just probably wasn't enough room for it. I mean, when you think of 2004, all the albums that came out around this time, you did have folks like Three Doors Down. You did have folks like Three Doors Down and you did have folks like Three Doors Down and Green Day and My Chemical Romance and all these particular type folks, and within the aspects behind it, plenty of these type folks within the Tones, some of these other type ones, Panic at the Disco is getting ready to come up, AFI, some of these type folks. It's just the aspects for us saying there just not been enough room, especially when some of these folks had multiple singles kind of coming out. So it's just the pitch. But I look after here, just the product. This is pretty banner type album with the pitch. Just moreover, the factoid me just question how much the full bound kind of commercial aspects of it kind of happen. I definitely feel like the staple of All Downhill from here is definitely pretty excellent with the pitch, but it may just not have as much full bound kind of recognizable. Makes me question if like MTV2, the second channel of them, picked up some of these type ones like Truth of My Youth, whether or not some of those type ones really had the pitch behind it, because it didn't really chart at all in America apart from All Downhill. So it's just the pitch as far as saying, but yeah, I recommend every song out of the 14 on here. There is a bonus song that nowadays, within more recent type editions, there's a Radio Adelaide that's kind of on this particular album that's newer that's on here. So it's just a pitch for saying, I don't know if full bound it does it within the pitch, but there is a Japanese edition that has like 4 extra songs. I'm not going to go forth and review those ones within those pitches just because, the format of the single type appeal within it's not like I probably would say these songs would be pretty excellent within the pitch, but it's just kind of fair. I just think the commercial bound typeness would not be as severe with it, but I would have to say the other 2 songs that would have been reviewed, Constant Static and then Whiskey Rose, probably sound like pretty severe type ones with the aspect as well. So that's kind of pitch. Just assume that they're probably just that dope an aspect within the tone behind it. But yeah, definitely pick up the Japanese edition with those extra songs. But so yeah, I'm going to talk about go ahead and get to talking about like the singles behind this album as far as these fairs kind of happen. So the lead single is the most recognizable single off this album, which is All Downhill From Here. This is pretty much, like, I would probably say the most popular song according to Spotify. It has 55 million plays on there. Second most popular song according to Spotify. There's actually a couple of these that are not singles that are actually more popular than the singles. This is what I was talking about here. So the second most popular song is actually At Least I'm Known for Something, which is not a single, and then another one which is Failure's Not Flattering, which is one of the songs that charted in Europe as far as this first going to happen. So it's just a bit as far as saying, but it's a pretty good far cry from like the rest of this album in terms of like the appeal behind just the pretty much the anchor, the selling point of this album. But that kind of happened with Good Charlotte in 2004 as well. Once you got past like Predictable and I Just Want to Live, some of that particular fare about that album, despite the fact that it was large enough, just didn't have the full blown crust of it. But it's just a pitch. Still classic stuff on here. Newfound Glory did pretty excellent. So All Downhill From Here is like a classic kind of skate park and mid 2000s kind of punk anthem. And kind of get within the products of it. Just some Summer Shine, I would definitely have to say. Just like Sticks and Stones type products from 2002. Excellent type pitches for that. It's like some new shit to kind of get within those fares. So this is pretty much the same aspect when the songs like songs like Adam's Song and What's My Age Again and all the small things to those type folks and like the Anthem and Girls and Boys, some of those type ones from Good Charlotte, Blink-182, some of those type songs get tiresome. Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, some of those type ordeals. This is just further type products. Pretty much I would have definitely said if Newfound Glory would have had another hit as large as this particular song, it probably would have been pretty masterful with an aspect as far as I mean, not to say that this is not a good stroke of not to say that this is not a good aspect of an album as far as these first going to happen, but just within the pitch, as far as saying within the tone, it just needed another anchor type hit. I mean, at least Good Charlotte in 2004 was able to get two of them within a more or less type sense, but this particular one is just more or less that the bank shot of this album happens to be All Downhill From Here. It just has a real All Downhill From Here has a real Capitol type hook, real recognizable pitch like that, just a good TV staple pitches like that, I'd say, but it's just kind of aspect that that's the particular tone, but easily kind of a pop punk anthem pitches like that, but it's kind of the ordeal. I just think the commercial kind of appeal of this sounds kind of a misnomer. It's definitely the pitch. There is further type ones, but it just may not be as widespread recognizable. That's just the pitch behind it. It's just excellent type ones, so it's just some new shit. Once some of the punk of like the late 90s, early 2000s gets tiresome, once you get tired of listening to like Dude Ranch and Enema of the State, some of those type ones, and then Good Charlotte's 2002 album, some of those type pitches. But it's just kind of fair. Truth of My Youth is the second single off this album. It's like a Get Pumped and Stoked kind of Blink-182 similar shit to do type pitches like that, I'd say. Truth of My Youth is like a Get Pumped and Stoked kind of Blink-182 similar to within these aspects. For these tones going to happen, just a shit to do type song pitches like that. Just kind of a busy night, kind of excited of a song to kind of get within these tones behind it here. Yeah, busy night, like I was saying, just some excitement to kind of get here. So it's just probably, these particular type songs are pretty good when you think of like those aspects, like it would be in like a kind of college type movie, something like that, where you got to get ready. Those particular tones of just things moving quick within that transit type scene pitches like that. It's just one of those type ones, get you pumped and stoked. Some stuff aspect gets you motivated within those aspects. As the tone, just like gonna get turned up tonight, gonna get real crunk. Some stuff aspects within the tones for those pitches gonna happen. Just factor. This song should have done pretty much better than it particularly does. This kind of fair. This is just banner type stuff. Just stacking up the hits as far as these fairs going to happen. It's actually the pitch that Newfound Glory had a series of albums. They pretty much, I looked up like their further discography. They have dropped an album as recent as 2023 within these pitches. It's kind of the fair. I don't know why collectively they have not been able to stack up more hits within the ordeal behind it. It's kind of the pitch you would think that they would have some routine type ones with the aspect. With the Truth of My Youth, in my opinion, Truth of My Youth is pretty catchy within these aspects as well. It's a good type fair. Failure's Not Flattering is the third single. It's like a breath of fresh summer air, I'd say, within the products of it here. Just some glide around music, definitely within the aspect. Just some punk kind of day dredge as far as those tones go. This one has a little bit more makeshift in mind within pitches like that. Not quite as ferocious within the product, like the excitement of Truth of My Youth, or quite the summer shine and just kind of hangout type fashion, All Downhill From Here. But it's just kind of the product of like some commerce, just typical kind of just noise for just like in a punk type sense, that is like the Muzak type fair that you'd probably have. once again, this is some further type stuff that probably should have picked up more noise than it did. It's kind of the pitch. I almost feel like the rock charts could use like a bubbling under type ones, just to think that that particular, like some of these songs didn't chart whatsoever. It's just within pitches for us. I mean, it's at least a single within those formats. Not sure if it had a music video pitches like that, but it does have some pretty good ordeal. Probably more or less on like punk radio stations or XM punk radio within those pitches. Probably be good to pick up some of these type ones, but this kind of pitches for us. At this particular stage, they definitely should within these aspects. There's plenty of rock music going around, but this is just some good type tones. So this punk kind of music pitches like that, I had to say. I Don't Want to Know is the fourth single. Is like some simmering kind of porch music, I'd say, within the aspects of it here. Just a warm beer and reflect as far as this is going to happen. This pleasant kind of simp and connect as far as this is going to happen. A little bit more ladies bound within the pitch. Just kind of some basic mild sauce, kind of romantic pitch back. Some basic kind of mild sauce, kind of softcore romantic kind of kickback as far as what's going to happen. Just from the aspect behind it, it's kind of within the aspect that is kind of more glazed, kind of lazy type fashions. It is something to kind of simmer down to as far as this pitch can happen. So just easily kind of porch type music again. Just within the pitch and just appreciating like the surroundings, pitches like that within those ordeals. It's kind of one, kind of reminds me of like Attitude by Alien Ant Farm. Not quite as like it's that same sort of lazy evening type sense within the aspect, just getting like a couple warm beers in your system, something like that within those ordeals. But just some kickback, just some easy going kind of connect with starlets as far as those fairs going to happen just within the appeal. So I look after it just within the pitch. Just within the pitch. So yeah, basically all these songs on here I connect with pretty full bound within the pitch. Just would have to say excellent type products, a 10 out of 10 album. There's some ones on here with an excellent type pitch. There's like one in particular, like at least I'm known for something. I think this was the song I was talking about that's like the most popular song off here, I'd have to say. Yeah, this is a good, nice one just because this is, I mean, for the most part, this punk album is kind of more light within fashion, not quite as gnarled mosh pit type craze pitches like that, but this is at least one that has that appeal. It's like a good gnarled kind of summer shine kind of get here, just a solid mosh and stress relief to kind of have within these aspects. So it's not as much full bound, but it's kind of within the pitch. It's kind of like it's not quite like Sepultura and Slipknot type things, pitches like that, or even Stone Sour, but it's this kind of pitches for us. And this is probably like the most vicious song off this album in terms of like the format. It is something punk that's also like get tore up and yell a little bit, devil horns, pitches like that as far as those ordeals kind of happen. So it's a good type pitch for that particular fair, just kind of a stress relief of a song, more or less within the product. No News is good news. It's a nice one within these pitches as well as like a sunset gaze and kind of listless stretcher kind of get within the aspects of it. Just some good stretcher kind of passage sounds type fair. So it's just the product of like a good makeshift kind of glaze, pretty similar to like Failure's Not Flattering, but just kind of within the pitch, it just kind of more blasé about it. It's a good song for like some drive-through long lines pitches like that. So it's just kind of the ordeal, like the slag behind it, just like the particular aspect of just something to kind of listen to when it's just like a dredgy ass day, pitches like that, where it's just it's annoying, but it's just not a gripe of it. It's just kind of like you just deal with it. It's just kind of like, oh, damn it, or shucks, something like that, just within the tone. But just till type passage of just, I mean, the food's going to be good. I would just say, just pick up like some Arby's, some type fares in the aspect, just getting like good, easy kind of food there, or some gorditas at Taco Bell, some type pitches, I'd have to say. Some gorditas at Taco Bell pitches like that, I'd say within the aspect with good type tone. The new bonus song that's also on the Japanese edition as well, Radio Adelaide, is a nice one within these pitches, like a typical kind of dope victory lap and showboating type tune, kind of get within the aspects of it. So this is some good type flair like I was suspecting. It's like a good punk floss kind of music, I'd say here. So it's just the aspect like rock rap. This is just a punk stab at doing like floss out type music within the tone, and just like some good type flair, just a good song for some grub and rhetoric as far as those press comes. So just kind of more or less just mess hall type music, just an out and about type fashion, just within the tone as far as those aspects going to go. So it does kind of make me question more of like venue type spot noise pitches like that. I did like the skate park. I did like the skate park, and I would probably say within a sense all downhill from here. It feels like a particular venue type song within these aspects as well. But in terms of like some socialized type noise pitches like that, I'd say Radio Adelaide probably say Radio Adelaide's a good, nice one for some of those type products as well. But also within the pitch, there's just some neighborhood bound type ones. It's a lot more, very similar to Sticks and Stones within that format from what I remember that album. I haven't purchased that album within these pitches quite yet, but it's kind of aspects for us saying that's just more neighborhood romps. It's within the pitch, it is more glazed, kind of just smoke in the neighborhood. Some of those type fairs, just easy kind of park going pitches like that kind of music. But Ending in Tragedy is a nice one within these ordeals. It's like a nice extra kind of radio grab, I'd say, within the pitch. Not a single, but just has like some good radio shine about it. Some good makeshift druid, feel like, about the pitch. Just kind of reminds like Sugar Ray in like a summer shine type sense, just kind of punk wise within it. So it's just kind of a more very summer vacay type within the fashion within the aspect, just in a more punk type sense. So it's just a good type of ordeal for it. I'd Kill to Fall Asleep is a nice one within these pitches as well. It's like a residential kind of block romping to kind of get. So it's just a product very similar to like Blink-182. They're pretty good pros at doing like romping type songs in the pitch of this, whether it is college and frat type stuff or just the aspect just like romp type music within the aspect of pickups and things like that. So just pickups type tune pitches like that. Just a good smoke clean type song with an aspect as far as just the aspect of just having some smoke type fashion, but just kind of not harrow or harassment within those pitches, but just the actual product, just easy kind of smokes and just the enjoyment of it, and just a good connect type sense, whether it is with the homie or two, or just a good product, just like some evening type fashions where it just is within the fashion of it, obviously within the legality of it, but just within the pitch as far as saying within those fairs. But the song's also good for some neat errand runs. Just the product of just getting some errands done, pitches like that, just without the gripe, without the strenuousness and the harrow as far as those pitch kind of, so just kind of the appeal. It's more a song to throw on within the rotation when things have been kind of going within the aspect of like this cleaner and more even set type motion as far as those pitch kind of. It's just a good type ordeal. There are some more sociable type ones on here like Doubtful. There's like a restaurant and late scene kind of embellished, kind of get here, just a chatty and kind of vibing type tune pitches like that. Just some ones kind of have like the passage, kind of like a primer to what Panic at the Disco is going to do a year later, pitches like that. It's just a good excuse to torch up within those ordeals to just get the products and some smoke type fare. Good type products for that. Over the Head, Below the Knees is a nice one within these pitches as well. As like a getting rev for like an exciting night. Some of these type of products within it, just some exhilaration. I definitely feel like about the aspects of it here, just some road glee as far as these pitch kind of goes. So dismiss the aspect pretty much. So there are some sparky type moments on here within the aspects for these tones kind of happen. Just kind of amidst the fair, just you and your homies pitches like that. There was another song I would say pretty much, I would say that like Over the Head, Below the Knees, like a good product to kind of go along with Truth in My Youth as far as these press apps. It's just a good combination of some of these type ones for like the excitement factor of it as far as like the tear gets ready to happen. Running out of songs I haven't talked about on here. I think I haven't talked about Your Biggest Mistake. Your Biggest Mistake is like a typical kind of dope Blink-182 kind of late day drifting, kind of get within the aspects of it. Your Biggest Mistake is like a typical kind of dope Blink-182 late day drifting, kind of get within the aspects of it. Just What's My Age Again type romp pitches like that. Just kind of some romp sun as far as this fair is going to go. So just within pitch. So just kind of more within a more or less blasé type fashion, but it just has the energy of Blink-182 sounds type pitches within fair. So it's just that typical kind of punk type sense with the aspects as far as those tones kind of go with like the product of just the makeshift kind of blear about it, but just the aspect of easy type rhetoric to have for some of these type pitches, that just like the routine of it within those fashions, that just what you'd be listening to in a punk type sense. So just kind of ordeal, picking up a box of beer, getting like some Heineken's pitches like that within those ordeals kind of about it, is the pitch about it. Just further romp sun like songs like I'd Kill to Fall Asleep, so in type fashion. So yeah, excellent romping tunes on here. Do like the product. Just some good cruise type fashions and summer shine pitches like that, say within those ordeals, just looking after the fair behind it. Very much like 2002 Good Charlotte, 1999 Blink-182 pitches like that. But I look after here, there's another one off these I was going to talk about. Who Am I? Who Am I is like a good sunset drifting and kind of coasting, kind of get here within the aspects. It's a good punk kind of radio grab, very much like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, some of these type ones within pitch, folks. Just another heater within those aspects. So just kind of the fair. some further type dredge and this aspect to like day drifting pitches like that within the ordeals. Just some good music relief as far as what's going to have. Not quite a flip mode type song, but just within pitch like that typical kind of just not so much full bound wary, but just miss the pitch of just like it's relative just slag of like a 4 o'clock p.m. after the usual weekday type fair pitches like that. So it's good type ordeals for it. So I think that's about every song I've talked about on here within these pitches. Yeah, I think that takes care of it. So the album gets a 10 out of 10. Social score is going to go ahead and probably get like a 9.75. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but it's just the aspects for saying the quality is definitely on here. It does have some sparky type moments for like the aspect. Maybe not a humongous severity of them, but there are some moments on here like at least I'm known for something. I'd kill to fall asleep. Like, some other excitement type ones like Doubtful, Over the Head, Below the Knees, and like I would say like Truth of My Youth, some of these type ones with aspects. It has a certain degree of social sparkiness with an aspect with some good type products, but like I said, the main caveat about this album as far as these pitches can have is just the factoid as far as saying that apart from All Downhill From Here, which was a pretty good staple, it's recognizable within the pitch that it probably has like the banner where it just is a casual type bop and easily things like that, but just the pitch, it just, the rest of these singles just don't have as, there's just a pretty stark type difference between that particular song and the rest of the recognition about this album. So just the pitch, not like this album's bad, it's just the pitch that the rest of the airplay to this was just not as severe with this. So it's just, it's troubling if you want to fuck with this album and kind of give it more variety as far as fucking with it with other people. It's this kind of pitch that's just the format for punk folks, for normal kind of skate park, for normal kind of skate park folks within that orientation pitches like that. Some of these type folks in the punk type sense and other type ones within that, it's kind of easier within the aspect, but it's just kind of more to like that particular like mentality and livings within the full bound. It's just a pitch for saying, but it does have some other type ones, easy enough kind of classic within these ordeals pitches like that, but it's just kind of ordeal, I'd say just in terms of casual wise, it's more 9.75, but there is moments on here, the makeshift, the romping, the summer shine, some of these type products, just things like that, some venue restaurant excitement type moments, pitches like that. At least one or two casual staples, I'd say, but that's the pitch as far as those first albums. So in terms of the future, like Newfound Glory has dropped an album as recent as 2023. They do have quite a few of these. I was actually surprised. Bonafide type conducts. Now I think I've covered their two largest albums. They might have like another one that either came out before 2002 or after within a certain type pitch, but for the most part, they're kind of, their heyday is pretty much about the early 2000s pitch like that. It's not to say like they don't have other good chunks. I think, you know, when I get to reviewing these, I'm probably going to fuck with this pretty damn heavily within these pitches later on. But this pitch first, and these I've covered two of their biggest albums within these pitches, but it's just the aspect they probably do have at least a couple more. But so that's the product of it. So yeah, easy classic pitches like that, pop punk classic, 2000s classic, some of those type of ordeals, good one to fuck with, and it's kind of underrated in a lot of senses.